In this lecture, what we're going to be doing is making sure that we can clear out all these cards before we go and add in a whole new lot. When we hit the add button, we refresh, basically adding all the cards from our list, but that does require us first to delete them. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hooking up the delete button so that it just wipes the card list. It doesn't actually delete the save games, but at the moment is just for debugging purposes, shows us that we are able to refresh this properly by deleting first and then filling back in all of the cards. Let's dive in and see how it's done. Alright, so in the last lecture we said there was some cleanup to do. What the cleanup is that here in the refresh slots method of Painting Picker, we are adding paintings to this grid widget, but we are not at any point removing them. So every time we do a refresh slots, we're adding in fresh paintings into the same slots. They're going over the top, so we're not noticing any problems. But trust me, there are problems. And those are that we're not really ever cleaning this up. So the easiest way to clean this up is to create the following API. Basically, on Grid Widget, we're going to create an API that allows us just to clear the grid entirely. So let's go to the painting grid.h and create this API. First of all, it's going to be public. So it's going to be void clear paintings, I'm going to call it. And we can go ahead and do the quick action of copying the signature, going over to our CPP and just pasting it on in there. And how we're going to use it? Well, it's going to be quite simple. We're going to go to the Painting Picker CPP, and just before we iterate through all of the save games that we've got, we're going to clear the grid widget. So let's do a painting grid widget arrow clear paintings. That's the usage, that is the idea. Now, what I'd like you to do is to go ahead and use the documentation to figure out how you would clear those paintings. Because remember, we've got these slots that they're all residing in. You can't simply just go ahead and clear all of the children of the grid widget. You need to do something slightly cleverer than that, but I'm sure you're up for it. So the documentation to look at is the UPanelWidget. This is where you'll find all the goodness that you want to. It's the one that deals with children, if you remember. We've already used, from UPanelWidget, we've already used the get child at, so you'll have a bit of revision of that. But other methods that might be helpful: get children count, so you know how many children are in this UPanelWidget, so you can iterate over them easily. And clear children, which allows you to wipe out all the children of a UPanelWidget. But remember, you might not want to be doing that on the grid directly. You might need to do some thinking about that. So let me give you a specification of how I want you to test this. So we're going to be clearing the paintings from the grid. So you should remove all grid cards. That's the result we want. So you can test this with the delete button. We've hooked up the delete button to toggle that. Just do a UE log. You could use that to your advantage. All cards should disappear if you hit the delete button, and they should return if you add a new one, because that's refreshing. So pause the video and give this a go. Okay, welcome back. Let's give this a shot then. So the first things first, we want to go ahead and iterate over all the children of the painting grid. And as we know, the children of the painting grid are going to be U-size boxes. So let's do this first. I'm going to create a for loop. So for int 32i equals 0, while I is less than the, let's see, what we've got. It's called the painting grid here. Arrow get child count, like so. Then we're going to do a ++i. So this is just a standard for loop going over all the children of the painting grid. We're going to then go ahead and get a child at and cast it to the U-size box. So we're going to get the child at I, the index, and we're going to do an if not card container continue, basically meaning skip this stage of the loop and go on to the next iteration of the loop. And otherwise, we can rely on this being a U-size box, so we're going to go ahead and clear its content. It's a card container. We're going to do a clear children, which will get rid of all of the children. We've only got one, though, which is the child that we added in add painting, which is the UPainting grid card. And this will automatically garbage collect everything that we need it to. So that should do the trick. Let's go and hook up some testing over in the Painting Picker CPP, no, the Painting Picker.h, where we've got our toggle delete mode. We might need to implement this over in the C++. So I'm going to remove the implementation that I've made in the .h file, and then I'm going to use the handy copy signature to go ahead and copy it over into the C++, where I am going to go ahead and call Painting Grid, just for now, Painting Grid widget, arrow, add painting, no, not add paintings, sorry, clear paintings, like so. Now, why is this not working? Because we need to cast like we were doing here in the refresh. So let's just do a cast in there and return early if that doesn't work, and I've typed it wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead and build that and see whether it's going to do the trick. So we've done the iterating over children, we've cleared the children of the size box. All that remains for us to do is actually test that out. So now that build's complete, let's go over to the Unreal Editor, play this in VR mode, and what I'm hoping for is that if I hit the delete button, boom, everything's gone. If I hit the add button, everything comes back exactly as it was before. Let's just check that the names up here are the same. So the delete button clears everything. Yep, they look exactly the same. So what is happening there is we're deleting all the children, but we're obviously not deleting the use size boxes, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to add back into them. So everything seems to be working out hunky-dory, and we have fixed the issue where there's this build-up of grid cards that are never getting cleared up. And I'll see you in the next lecture.